They're doing all the AMAs and conversations today, huh? Things are getting exciting.
Yeah, we have a lot today.
Good. Good, good, good,
It'd be
good. I'm
so exciting.
so excited. Oh my god, if you guys could see what was happening behind the scenes. All these cool all these cool traits and all this back and forth and the future plans. Oh man, I am
Might be some leaks coming soon. We'll see. Who knows? Sometimes our team is,
leaks.
hard to keep everyone tight-lipped on all this stuff. So we'll just see. We'll see. Been doing a
Oh,
lot of the beta stuff, so who knows what could fall out.
I mean, usually it's me doing the accidental leaking, but I've been really good about this one, man. I've been trying my hardest not to spill the beans, so they say. But it's hard to do when you're so excited and there's so much cool stuff going on and there's such an exciting future.
And just the gaming NFT and blockchain space in general is such a cool place to be right now. It's got that early Bitcoin day vibes where the right people are coming in and the smart people are kind of getting attracted to it. It's just I can feel it. It's just bubbling, bubbling. I tell you, we're gonna be boiling soon.
You know, and I feel like the blockchain gods are just aligning for us because, we're having this nice little bump, we're having this nice little mini bull season happening right now, right as we're going into this mint, and it's just like it just seems perfect. It just seems like fate's lining up for us, and it's oh man, it's so exciting.
Yep, hard to deny. So looks like maybe our joiners are well, no, yeah, okay. Maybe our
Yeah,
joiners are
I think we're
starting to
good
slow down.
to go.
All right,
Um,
I'll let you take it
do
there,
we
Eric. Go for it.
do we have someone that's recording this? I know that people like to listen to it later before we start.
Um, you know, I think we actually Johnny Ringo, if you're out there, hit record.
Yes, anybody, please do us that favor.
Yeah, let's just give 1 minute, let someone hit record, and then
Yeah, let's get that set
we'll
up.
jump into it.
Because I don't want anyone to miss it. And I know that in the past, I've had a tendency to get a little excited, talk a little bit fast. So I'm going to work on that, keep things chill, so that our English second language friends can translate. But yes, if let me ping him, make sure he's recording. Making sure we're set up to record here. Man, I used to just be able to be like, "Hey, do this for us. We'll throw you an early bird or something." We can't do that anymore. We can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yep.
oh man, we used to be able to just use that as a little bonus, and now it's just, it's so in demand, and our list is all locked down now. It's like, man, it's crazy. How far we've come in just a month or two.
Yeah, it's true.
I used to be like, "Hey, man, you know, tag me in Discord. You get yourself a roll." And now it's like, run down to the corner store for me and grab me a gallon of milk, and I'll get you an early bird roll. Now you're really gonna get out there and do it.
Oh man, I'm scared to do anything on my other window because
Oh, yeah.
it'll take me out of where I'm at right now.
Oh, you don't have 3 monitors? Oh, man. I've got 1
Two
monitor
different
full of charts
devices.
all I got 1 monitor full of charts all day, 1 monitor full of, Discord, and
That's right.
gotta stay informed, man. I see some of our regulars in here, that's awesome. There he is. Okay, cool. He's up.
All right.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to record this. Why don't they make this easy?
Yeah, on my OBS, it won't even show the Discord. Well, we might have to get started.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. We don't want people waiting all day. It's almost 15 minutes in.
yeah, yep. I think Johnny will have it covered in just a minute. Okay.
Johnny is not set up to record. Let's see. Johnny is not set up to record. Let's see. All right, I think I got something here. Let's try this. Let me try this. Windows G. All right, I think I got something here. Let's try this. Let me try this. Windows. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go with it. Let's just go with it.
We got a good crowd. We got great guests here. I'll let Eric do the hosting, and I'm going to
Yes.
sit back for a minute.
All right. Cool. Well, I think I might be recording. I think so. That would be great. Let's see. Do we have Ren and Riot Striker? Can you guys hear me? You guys all ready to go?
Always ready, guys. Like I enjoy your conversation, so I don't wanna get into the vibe of just chilling over here and listening.
Well, we appreciate that, but you're the guest star today.
Aw,
We need to hear from
that's
you.
very
You're the
very
important
kind.
one, not us. If you let us talk, we'll never shut up. So you need to step in here and so let's get started. Before we get started, is it YGGSEA or YGGC? Because I read it all the time, but when you read something, you never really say it out loud.
How should I put it? It's YGGC.
YGGC. Okay, great. All right, so YGGC. Um, why don't you tell our audience here a little bit about what YGGC is all about, and the name YGGC? Where did that come from? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, but before I start, just want to check on my partner who's been awfully quiet over here.
Oh, he ran
Daniel,
away. He's got stage fright. He's got stage fright.
what did you do to him,
I
Fancy?
didn't do anything. he ran. He ran away. He got up on stage, looked at the crowd, and just turned around and bolted.
It's
Probably
a
just a mic check.
It's the second
uh,
time you left the stage, I noticed. But anyway, let's get started. Thank you for having us in the Discord. Really love what you guys are doing, and really excited and look forward to play Fancy Bird. Really, and as for the question just now for YGGC, YGG, it's basically a guild, right? For those of you who do not know, YGG is Yale Guild Games, and so we are one of the sub DAOs under YGG, and C naturally refers to the region, Southeast Asia, a region that we focus in. So that's it really. Nothing
oh,
fancy.
everything here is fancy. Everything here is fancy.
That's why I'm really here.
That's great. Okay, so you are a subset of YGG, obviously, like you just said, and there's a ton of features here. You want to tell us what kind of distinguishes YGGC from all the other platforms out there?
Sure. So YGG we can say that is a platform, but it is more of a community. So the visions of YGG is to lower the barrier of entry for anyone who would want to come into play to earn games. Because let's face it, NFTs, it costs money, right? And not a
Right.
lot of people can afford it. And so we see, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people are impacted by the pandemic. They can't find a job, and a lot of people are laid off. So there's no way that they could buy an NFT with a sort of play to earn, right? And so YGG's vision is to reduce that, or to eliminate the entire barrier so that anyone could come in. We obviously started with Axie Infinity, and we got a whole bunch of players to come in at zero cost, and we give back to the community. I think we are the highest with a guild that give the highest percentage to the communities of scholars to come in. And so in the past 1 year, I think we have recruited, I can't mention numbers, but we have recruited a huge number of people to come in within the Philippines and then now the entire Southeast Asia. And we have started in Latin America and we have started in India as well. Now, what differentiate our guilds with a lot of other guilds is our love for the community, right? And our love for our scholars. Because a lot of people within our community, we notice that they are not crypto native, and some of them they don't even have a bank account. So imagine that your first account is your Ronin wallet or your MetaMask
Oh,
wallet. That could be pretty intimidating, right?
wow. Yeah, I never really thought of that. That's crazy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess some
So
people's first bank account is their crypto wallet. Wow.
yeah, so we are bypassing the financial inclusion, bypassing whatever that was an issue before into crypto inclusion. That's one thing. And so we need to have food on the ground. That's why YGG has subDAOs, food on the ground with multiple languages, understanding of local culture, so that we could guide people to move over to the crypto side, right? And in the games, let's talk about language also. A lot of the games that is launched, it's all in English. And we have taken it for granted, right? Myself included, that because we all speak English. But in a lot of countries, especially the target scholars that we have, they don't speak English. So can you imagine, Vancy, that we have to translate every single thing, every single cards, every single gameplay from English to multiple languages in Southeast Asia? And
Oh,
we have
wow.
that. And so
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
great.
only that. And we have sessions, offline sessions, where we appoint community leaders to sit down with our team of scholars and teach them this is how you play certain things. So there are a lot of things that we take for granted, and we thought that we could do it via Zoom. It can't be done in a lot of communities that really would be helped and their life transformed through the play to earn phenomenon. And that's what differentiates us, simply because we live, man.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing. Yeah, the whole idea of the sub-DAO and like really being able to focus on smaller communities under that one big umbrella is it's really important. And like you were saying with the play to earn platform, we have this ability to get people involved in something that they can enjoy, have fun with, but also like really help them out. And I think that's really important. And yeah, you guys have a huge community. How long ago did you guys kind of start? When was your genesis?
With Southeast Asia, we started on 1st of November 2021.
Oh, so you guys are
And
still young and just getting going.
we are fairly new, and proud to report that our scholars have grown by almost 300% month on month, and we hope to maintain that. And we are also the first sub-DAO that offers more than one game. And we have launched Axie Infinity is definitely the first game, right, that all guilds have provided to all the scholars. And we have also distributed a second game,
Okay.
third game actually this month. And we are looking forward to launch Fancy Bird to our community.
Yes, yes, yes. The Fancy Birds is so exciting. And I think that, your community is really gonna love it. We get a lot of that great feedback from Southeast Asia region and all over the world really in our general chat all the time. And people really seem to respond to it and have a lot of great questions about how it's gonna work. In your opinion, since this is kind of your area of expertise, like specifically what kinds of opportunities are offered like to attract the attention of gamers in general, and how do the income opportunities work in your experience from these play to earn games and these platforms that you've been participating in since the beginning?
There's a huge untapped market, right? And untapped population simply because of language barriers and not understanding what a crypto space. Because let's face it, even before crypto space, gaming space itself, a lot of people would like to jump into the gaming side. But there's so much preconceptions, misjudgments about what a gaming is. And so, but with esports, uh, wave coming in 5 years ago, a lot of big corporates have started to look into gaming and say that I want to come in, but I don't know how. That's one, and they have the prejudgment at the back of their mind. When play to earn comes in, it not only offers income to people, but it also makes an easier transitions for anyone who would like to understand about the gaming industry and the crypto sector. So just now I touch upon the scholars. But we are also embracing a lot of local corporates and the government to understand about the game industry and the crypto industry through play to earns. So if you look into the Medium article that we have, we recently closed our round, I think last year. So three out of the list of our investors are first-time crypto investor. One of them being a local bank, a local venture capital, of a local bank, which is the largest bank owned by the government. It's their
That's really
first time
cool.
investing into crypto. And we can only do that if we have feet on the ground and be the friendly faces, right? Because a lot of times crypto can be a bit intimidating. I mean, I remember the first time I set up my MetaMask wallet. I feel like I don't know anything.
Do not
And
lose
so
your seed phrase. Do not do this. Do not do that.
yeah, and I was like, what is seed phrase? Seeds are something that you feed the birds. I mean, what are you talking about, right? So a lot of things are really foreign, and a lot of corporates, a lot of governments, they don't understand this, and there's no one who can sit down next to them and say, and without judging, right, in a neutral way, just say that it's normal, it's okay, nothing intimidating. Let's walk through this, and that's what YGGC would like to do, and all the YGG sub-DAO would like to do, to have that conversations with not only our scholars but also the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I think
So
that's amazingly important. And yeah, like you're saying, and gaming I think is a great way to kind of onboard people who don't have that experience in the crypto space because everyone can understand the game. Once you sit down with Flappy Birds, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? And then it's more of a simple on ramp to understanding crypto in general and understanding crypto in a bigger way. And onboarding that with a game like Fancy Birds is really going to help people understand and open their eyes and provide opportunities. And yeah, I don't think we've necessarily messed with our government regarding Fancy Birds yet. Maybe down the road, but that's really interesting that you've got local banks and government tie-ins, and you're on ramping them with this easy to understand platform. That's very cool.
I'm looking forward to distribute Fancy Birds to a lot of people because when I look at the gameplay, this is something that a lot of people could understand. Like I could give it to my mom, I think she's going to love it, and it's acceptable by people across age groups, right? And it looks cute, so I really am looking forward to you guys to launch it quick, so I could use this as a tool to show people, look, play this game, you're gonna like it, you love it, and then in the end of the day, I'll just tell them this is how much you have earned.
Right, there's some income opportunities there. I think that's really exciting, and yes, it is adorable when you see these mints, when you see these features and traits. Oh, it's so cute. There's there's some badass ones with like horns and stuff, but it's just like the core of it, it's just so adorable. I love it.
I'm looking at your PFP and I'm jealous over here. I was like, I should have changed my PFP into one of this, but the mint is tomorrow. So I can do that.
Yeah, so once you mint it, you'll have to change. You'll have to show us all what you got. I'm gonna have to change mine. I'm gonna miss my guy, but as soon as I mint, I gotta pick one of my mints to be my profile picture.
Yeah, we got to get one of the real ones up. I'm nervous. I've only got my mint like everyone else, and I'm hoping I'm going to mint a good one. Otherwise, I got to go on that secondary market and start shopping for my guy.
Oh, I know, right? They're gonna have to like pick through. So, speaking of the secondary market, Mr. Badger, people are wondering what our auction site's gonna be, what our NFT platform for the third parties gonna be.
Okay, so at first, it is going to be on OpenSea.
I've heard of
Um,
that one.
yeah, yeah. So at first, we're going to be obviously we're compatible with everything because we're a standard, NFT format. We're not doing anything that's going to force us to be exercised from anywhere, but we are building out our own marketplace. So, just
Ooh.
like Axie or Peg Axie or any of these other fantastic games with their own marketplace, we will have that soon. Of course, our engineers are currently very much, in crunch for our mint and game launch, which is, we're laser focused on right now. But we're gonna have it all. We're gonna have it all.
Oh man, that's gonna be so great. let's talk about how FNC ties into Fancy Birds and also future games and the governance and just the play to earn tokens. Like, how does FNC work with all that? Because there has been some confusion about redeeming the SFNC versus the FNC. I've answered a lot of questions in the chat about that. So maybe we could just
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit, clear it up a little bit, kind of get everyone on the same page.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're trying to keep it simple. Definitely for the launch. With a game as simple as Fancy Birds, FNC is the governance token for the entire Fancy Games platform. So having a piece of FNC, means you really do have a piece of the platform. So all the revenue distribution is going to be through that, the voting, the control, and for our flagship game, it's also the reward token. And we're very flexible in that. Our main thing is that our games are very enjoyable and addictive, and that the community, is being serviced by them. So, from here, woven throughout all of the Fancy Games universe, FNC will tie into all of them as the governance token, and in Fancy Birds as also the reward token. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be other stuff, just like in all video games, there's other kinds of resources. You collect ammunition in some, you collect, in Minecraft, you collect everything and try to build with it. So as things,
Yep.
as things expand, obviously we're going to have more resources, but the FNC token will always remain that sort of, one token that binds them all, the big governance token and the big revenue distribution token. So I think that's, really sums up why anyone would care about it.
Yeah,
I don't know if
absolutely.
Jesse, Mr. Fancy, has anything to add.
I would love to hear from Mr.
No, I
There he is.
think I think you sort of nailed it there. Um, it really is just going to be our governance token and our earning token, our flagship games, and it'll be used for mostly everything within Fancy Birds as well. So
Yeah.
from the store to the breeding, tournaments, to customization. So that's kind of where you're going to be using that.
Awesome. And yeah, there's gonna be so much people are gonna have so much fun with the customization and we are getting so many breeding questions. I cannot wait to launch that Medium article so I can stop being like, oh, it's coming. But
Yeah,
yeah, the
we have
breeding is
no,
exciting.
we have a detailed medium that will explain all the features and functions of breeding, um, as well as some other mediums that are still coming out. So
And for
And they
anyone
will be
listening,
we
nothing to be scared of. Breeding's going to be very straightforward. There's not going to be any crazy surprises. We will get the details out, very soon.
soon. Everyone loves hearing soon.
Soon?
Soon. Before the mint though, right? Breeding details?
yeah, it should be it should be released before Mint's done.
All right, great. And Bubbles
Yeah,
just
yeah.
jumped on stage. Great to see you, Bubs.
Hey, Bubbles. Everyone knows Bubbles. He's in there keeping the Discord straight every single day. Welcome, Bubbles.
Thank you, guys. Trying my best.
You are the best, man.
Absolutely.
The best doesn't have to try to be the best. The best is the best. But while we've got Rin up here, let's talk to Rin directly. Let's Rin and Mad Badger, Mr. Fantasy, chat a little bit about why guilds are so important. And we've gotten so fortunate that we've got some of these great guilds. I mean, my job is so easy because I go into the general chat and I've got a bunch of questions. I'm catching up, and every time I see these questions, somebody from one of these great guilds has already helped them out, and I'm like, man, these communities are so valuable to our platform and to what we're creating here, and play to earn games in general. It's just like, man, they really do have a passion for it, and just adds so much to our community with their communities. So I would love for you guys to chat kind of about, you know, the ecosystem and why guilds are important and why it's so important to get them involved so people do adopt Fancy Birds and the whole idea of play to earn. So if you guys want to chat directly a little bit and kind of explain that, I think that'd be really helpful for our users.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think some of the stuff, we already heard, just the translation alone is amazing, right? Like having a committed and dedicated, entity team that's willing to onboard, people that normally just wouldn't have been able to jump right in is amazing. And then on top of that, the way they can provide assets for people to jump in on these things and start earning is also really, really cool. And in general, just like you were saying, the general education, right? The general level of assistance and help that can be brought by a guild is just fantastic. I don't know if Rin has anything to add on that.
Yeah, I think the between guild and the games, the close relationship is extremely important because, like, thank you so much, Matt Badger, for acknowledging that having the translations thingy, it's important. But there's nothing for us to translate if we don't get guidance from you guys, right? It's like, how do we play the games? And also, close relationships between game developers and the guilds are super important, and that's why we are very happy that we have good relationship with all the games that we have invested in. uh, One thing that I didn't mention also is that as a guild, we also have local partners whom we collaborate with, the content providers, the KOLs, right? And a lot of times we get our community, we encourage them not only to be a gamer, because gamer, I believe personally, it could be a profession, but on top of it, they could also be content creators. So a lot of the games that we have, we also encourage our community and our network of influencers to look into the games. If they like it, then they could, you know, like talk about it in their channels and to create content so that it becomes more popular for everyone. Uh, in a way, it's good for the developers, but it's also good for us as the frontliner of promoting all the games that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that content is so important when the users and when the members like make their own content. We just had a fantastic video sent to us, something that, honestly is so important about getting on Polygon and moving everything over and kind of explaining in a way that's easier to understand with visuals how to do that whole process. Because of course there's a lot of confusion about that. We can write all the articles we want, but at the end of the day, that those videos really help. And when you can break that down and really translate for an entire different community, it helps so much. And I'm pretty sure Southeast Asia is one of our bigger core audiences too, isn't it, Mr. Fancy?
Yeah, of course, especially for onboarding and expanding not only fancy birds but the whole ecosystem. We're definitely focused um, on that area.
Yeah, I think they make up, our little math here shows 60 to 70% of our core user base is Southeast Asia. That's incredible.
Wow. Looking
Yeah, and
forward
that
to
and that really speaks
it.
to how important these guilds are and how incredibly thoughtful it was to create these sub DAOs so that you can focus on the smaller communities and really get people understanding what's going on because honestly, we try our best, but there's so much of that language barrier sometimes that you explain it several different ways and you're still not kind of getting through, especially with something more complicated. So that's fantastic. And you guys are so important and amazing. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that as well. Thank you for creating an
Um,
amazing game, really.
yeah, yeah, and you know what's really cool about these the guilds and what we're creating is we've got the Genesis NFTs that are specifically made for each guild. Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit? Because I've seen some of them and they are so cool. Like I want one of each of them from what I've seen. They're so unique. And I know we reserved these for guilds. You want to talk about why it's so important that we acknowledge and recognize these guilds with their own personalized NFTs?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're taking our lead, from the guilds. I'm old enough to go back into the World of Warcraft days and remember the sort of start of gaming guilds at all. And now they've evolved into, such necessary components. And we're recognizing that, we were fortunate, so many giants came before us that we can stand on their shoulders and see farther to the horizon. And, looking at what, kind of came along with Axie and some of the others where these guilds came in, we realized the importance and the power of these guilds. as far as everything we've listed so far, just all the help and all the benefits they bring. So we wanted to make sure, that there was some stake for them in the game as well, some recognition for that. And so each guild that has supported us from the beginning has got their own styled bird that'll be recognizable to their guild members and recognizable to the public that sees them out there competing and playing. And there's even a small chance for these guild birds to be able to pass down some of their genes. So we'll see some of these guild traits, some of the pieces of the birds from the guilds will be starting to pass down into the ecosystem and into the general population of
Oh,
birds.
Yeah, I
dang.
think it's
So,
just to like touch on that. I think it's important that we have these guilds and different communities that are sort of pillars in the framework of building a solid foundation for games and community driven games. Just like the example in World of Warcraft or any other MMO or anything that you've played, there's a clan system or guild system, and it just kind of brings these little communities together within the ecosystem that sort of brings it all up. And on top of that, we do have plans to have guild specific tournaments or little quests that they have to do as a community against other guilds to compete. So it's more or less we're giving credibility on our platform to some of these guilds, and if you're a smaller guild, we do have an application, so we'll be putting more guilds and things like that onto the official leaderboard and sort of recognized by us. But for now, we sort of have our main ones, and then we'll be expanding that. And just to go down the content creator route, there's a lot of games that have content creators streaming, but one thing that they don't have are incentives, so like content creator codes and things like that. So that's something else that we're looking into to sort of help out that side of the community.
awesome. So with these with these sponsored birds, there's going to be a really high demand to kind of, it's so weird to talk about this without sounding dirty, but like you're going to really want to breed with these guild birds.
Oh, what a
I think it's
peculiar turn of
really
phrase.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of, like, whenever we talk about it, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, can I breed with my brother?" And I'm like, "Oh man, how do I address this?"
Oh, Lord.
People are always asking me if they can breed with their brothers and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh geez."
We don't
But
we
yeah,
don't
so
recognize that in the bird verse.
there's no family. No, but so
No family in the bird verse.
um, but on a serious-ish note, but yeah, so there will be kind of like a high demand to breed with these to breed with these scholarship bird or these oh sorry to breed with these guild birds, right? So like you could even do opportunities to give you the chance to pass on these traits from these guild birds to the the children, I suppose, of the guild birds. Can we talk a little bit about specifically how scholarship works, and so people can kind of wrap their head around that? Maybe Rin, that's something you can help out with. How, and use Fanciers as an example of how the scholarship process works.
Sorry, I was cracking up with that. What was the
I
question
know.
again?
I just more specifically, like maybe a little bit of a step by step on how people get involved with the scholarships. What's the process for people that haven't done it before? Um, a
Sure.
scholarship basically means that instead of having to purchase the bird yourself, you kind of rent it almost, and it's on loan to you while while you play it and kind of earn. And I think people are just kind of curious about how that process works. Specifically, so people can kind of like start to wrap their heads around it before the breeding starts and before the gameplay starts.
Whether there's gonna be breeding or not, we're still gonna go out and give the the birds to the scholars. But in general, it's very straightforward. So all you have to do is just come over to our Discord YGGC, and there is an application channel in multiple languages. We have it in Thai, Bahasa Indonesia for Indonesia. I think we have it in Malay and Chinese, if I'm not mistaken. So Vietnam is coming in, Cambodia is coming in soon. But we have everything in local language so that to make it easier for everyone to just go in, fill in the forms, and we have a weekly recruitment. So almost every day we will do an announcement, but on a weekly basis we look at all the applications that comes in and then we spread it across, right? And there will be an interview that we do so that we get to know more about the scholars. And this is also a balancing act, right? In a lot of games, multi-accounting is not allowed. And so in our guild, we also do not promote multi-accounting. In fact, we do not want that to happen. And we want to have a close relationship with them. And that is the reason why we do the video call and interviews with the scholars.
Oh, you guys actually
And
get on video and really get to know them.
yeah, we do. And we actually have offline meetings as well. We are building offline how do I call it, like offline presence by having satellite um offline presence really, so that our scholars could meet with each other and could train together. So imagine that you have a village full with YGGC scholars. How cool is that, right? And so you come on the
That's
street, you can just say that, let's come and play together, and so you don't even have to get into a public transport. You just have to walk out of your house and then you have your other fellow scholars that you can play with. So that's the offline presence that we establish. And after the interview, then that's it. You will be assigned the game assets, NFTs, and you'll be welcome into a special channels based on the country that you've registered in, where everything is going to be in the local language. All conversations, all training, all informations, all announcement that you see in the main channel that are all in English will be translated in the local language.
oh,
So it's
you guys
essentially a Discord within Discord.
you guys are so helpful in doing that. That's so important. We add, different languages anytime someone requests it. We have a huge list of different languages, and I see a lot of activity in there, and I know people are helping each other out, but there's just like that barrier where people come in and kind of have to ask us, and we have to try to translate it for them. So you guys doing that is so helpful and amazing. And it's so funny because I think of, you're saying training, and I'm like, that's actually really funny because I think of people like a Rocky movie, but they're just tapping their phones, trying to train for Fancy Birds. And they got the music going on, they're all pumped up, they're sweating, and they're just playing Fancy Birds, training all day and night, which honestly is not a terrible idea because Mr. Fancy, you want to talk about this $50,000 prize for the first weekly leaderboard contest?
Yeah. So we're kicking it off pretty big. It's gonna be a week long giveaway. Top 15% of competitors will be getting paid based on their final standing. Obviously, giving more weight to the first, second, third places. This is going to be more or less, we're doing it for our launch right now. We're gonna have tournaments planned, big tournaments. Sorry, like we'll be having daily tournaments every day, but the big ones like this we'll probably have planned maybe once or twice a month going forward with various prize pools and maybe different criteria. But this is something that we're really excited to give to the community and sort of. I know everyone says it's play to earn, but I think the new motto should be play and earn.
There it is. There
You
it is.
guys,
Play
That's
and
good.
earn. We're getting into
like you,
esports now.
yeah, exactly. Like you are still getting your daily minimum, and there's quests and things, but really the like where everyone is sort of incentivized is playing these big tournaments or the daily tournaments, or joining. Our second version of tournaments will be ran similar to a poker tournament where you would buy in and then have 10 people playing and then the first two people get paid or something like that. So we have a lot of plans to expand it, but we're definitely always going to have these sort of big banger tournaments and different events. I mean, like besides tournament events, we're going to have breeding events. We'll have some special percentages and things like that will be put into the breeding for certain milestones and things like that. So we're always evolving and sort of moving towards bigger and better things. But at the same time, it's not always like I don't want to give an impression that every week we're gonna have a $50,000 tournament or something like that.
No, we can't afford that.
Yeah, no, but we will have sort of our bigger ones, and then our average everyday ones where you can win a little bit more, similar to Arena in Axie Infinity.
Would
Yeah,
you
and
have a country level though? Just out of curiosity. Sorry for jumping in. Like,
Pardon?
no,
do you have like would you like to do a country level competition, be it online or offline?
Oh, I mean, yeah, why not? Like, I mean, sure. We already have sort of global leaderboards that we're gonna have the guild leaderboards, and then specialized tournaments. But if we can get regional tournaments or things like that up as well, um, like, yeah, I mean, why not? And then we can sort of have a grand worldwide champion tournament.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And that's also a good way to gather the community offline, of course, post COVID with the protocols and all, so that community can gather and it's not only something online, but it's also offline touch base.
Oh,
I
oh
look
yeah.
forward.
Yeah, I mean, in-person events and tournaments and games and things like that are definitely something that we have in mind. Obviously now it's a little bit challenging, but as things open up and maybe down the road we'll have a bunch of different games potentially that you could play at this event, and we'll have different tournaments and things like that. So it's something we're always looking for.
Yeah, Mr. Fancy, so modest. I mean, this is really where play and earn, play to earn, whatever you want to call it, starts to meet esports. That's where we're taking this, and on mobile, so that no one's excluded. I mean, we're really trying to brew something here for everyone. So, and we're also, hope I'm not leaking anything, but we're also talking about guild level tournaments. So this suggestion of sort of country based tournaments is awesome in my opinion. Love it.
Yeah, and then we can kind of let the guilds organize that. Be like, if you guys want to have a representative from each of your sub countries in your own tournaments, that would be really cool too, and kind of have like an Olympics, a Fancy Birds Olympics, since it's happening right now. And
Oh, I love it. I love
that's
that.
you know what